Welcome to the SOJ Student Experience Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Abbott. We have a fascinating show for you all today. If you're a longtime listener, you know that we like to tackle all aspects of attending the University of Oregon as an SOJC student. This week, we're looking at audio production and podcasting. I have two guests from the SOJC who are going to give us an inside look at their process while sharing their own experiences with audio production. I'm here with Colleen Young and Christian Codman. Welcome to the Student Experience Podcast. Colleen, let's start with you. First of all, what brought you to the School of Journalism?
Yeah, so I guess like backstory, since high school, I've always loved English and writing. And I kind of just decided from that point because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do yet. So I was like, well, I love writing, so I might as well just enter journalism because there's a lot of different avenues for that. I went to Lane Community College for like 2 years to get my general requirements out of the way. And then I transferred over to the SOJC and just got thrown into the world of journalism.
Nice. Christian, what about you? What brought you to the School of Journalism?
I also took the same route as Colleen, going to Lane Community College first and getting my transfer degree.
And so tell me about, you have all this experience in life. Tell me about your first experience working in audio.
I started as a dance club DJ at the age of 19, collecting vinyl and mixing records.
Oh yeah, I totally hear you. And Colleen, where are you coming from with your experience with audio?
Yeah, so pretty much when I joined the J School, that was kind of my first real introduction into the world of audio. I took Gateway, if all you know, like basically an audio, visual, and writing class. And yeah, we had to use I think they're Tascam recorders. I can't remember like the model or anything, but we had to use those and go out and just find someone and record like a 1 minute piece on them in their life. So that was like my first time really getting into it at all, and it was really fun. So yeah.
Hey, tell me about your Gateway interview.
Yeah, so my dad used to work at Safeway, and so he got me in touch with one of his coworkers named Cliff. Super nice guy, super incredible. He also has like DJ and like music experience like you. And
Right.
He was just like telling me about like how he ended up there and just like his story of like being on the road and doing music. And yeah, it's just crazy because it's like, you talk to these people like every day, or just like your cashier, just some like regular person, and then like actually taking a couple minutes to like really sit down, hear their story, and get to know them. Like it makes such a difference, and like the connection you have with people is just like something else. So I think it was super special, super important to have that.
Yeah, I think my first experience working with audio was also my Gateway project. And if I could share something real quick, I have kind of a fun story about that.
Yeah.
I interviewed this man who ran a capoeira studio. And what that is, it's a Brazilian martial art that mixes music with fighting. So all the fighting they're doing to a rhythm, and learning how to play the music is just as important as learning like the moves and the martial art aspect of it. And in doing this, I attended one of the capoeira classes, and I was totally unprepared. I did not feel very physically able to do this. So I'm trying to do these like handstands, and I'm not getting anywhere, and doing these weird runs that I've never done before. And I was rewarded for this by getting a hernia, which I still carried with me to this day.
Oh man, what a story, what a time. That's
yeah,
awesome.
But I did really well on my audio project. That's the good news.
Hell yeah.
That was my highest scoring project in Gateway. So hey, it was worth the hernia, maybe.
Yeah, right. That's great.
All right, so let's talk about podcasts a little bit. Trey, what's some of your favorite podcasts that you listen to?
I've really not gotten into a series or any kind of fictional storytelling podcast. Usually lean towards news.
How do you feel that your listening experience have influenced you? Like, be it somebody who you think is especially charismatic, or somebody who's just informative?
Well, I recently just watched, actually earlier this morning, a podcast with Chris Best, who's the CEO for Substack.com. Now, Substack.com started as a newsletter, ad-free newsletter website for people who would want to break away from either media conglomerate organizations, or if they're just writers, if they're moms at home passing out recipes, and they can also upgrade their individual pages to monetized, so people can subscribe. But there's also the podcast aspect where Chris Best, he's offered people the availability to make their own podcast at their own creative level. He doesn't call it content creating, he calls it culture creating.
Let's move on. So either of you, and this is for both Colleen and for Christian, do you feel like you can make good money by podcasting?
Go ahead, Colleen.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I think so. Like, all of us are taking audio storytelling right now, and I know that Damien, he was talking about like the first week or two that like, you know, podcasting and audio stuff in general is just like on the rise right now. So I think it's a very like good like outlet and like area of media to like get into and like take advantage of right now. And I guess like personally, like I've always wanted to start a podcast and everything, and like right now, and what the J School has kind of taught me a lot is like helping me find like my voice and just be like more confident in what I do. So hopefully one day I'll be able to.
Oh yeah, well of course.
But...
Oh hey, by the way, it looks like we have a call in. Now we're going to take a couple of questions from a student here at the University of Oregon. Annette, you're on the air.
Thank you, Josh, for having me. Yeah, I have a few questions for both Christian and Colleen. I'll just jump right in with my first one. What made each of you get into like furthering your career with audio?
I would say my previous experience, already working with audio recording and dance club music, DJing in clubs and festivals, being in the studio, meeting people. That was something I told myself when I was 19 was, I can't get into the bars yet, but how can I get in there and meet people? I'm not going to school yet. How can I go meet people? That was my outlet. I would say beyond that, it was the fact that I have glasses and my hearing's a little bit better than my sight is. Other than that, yeah, I just like music, and then also people being smart and hearing them being able to explain how smart they are. That's always fascinated me.
I think for me personally, like I've really just the past couple years, like the people for me is just like all about the connections, as I've said before. And so like just talking to like whether it's like my friends or like my family, I just really enjoy like the personal aspect of it. And I especially love talking to my brother because he's in the Navy and he's does like mass communications, and so he had like a radio show for a while and I think he did a podcast as well. But he's been one of like my main sources of inspiration for wanting to like push through with this stuff more, because he's such like a creative mind. So it's really cool to like be someone, especially if you're in your family, who has like the same kind of brain and thinks in those terms as you do. So.
That sounds so interesting. Thank you. My next question would be, what is a piece of equipment that you think you would recommend to an audio student that, you know, everybody should have to work with?
The Tascam.
Yeah, I'd say Tascam as well. A handheld audio recording device that you can get better than professional recordings from is imperative.
All right. Christian and Colleen, thank you so much for joining us today. You've given us so much to think about as SOJC students looking to make an impact in podcasting. Next week, we're going to be looking at feature writing and how to break into the newspaper business. Thanks for joining us this week, and I hope you'll be with us for another exciting view of the SOJC experience. This is Josh Abbott signing off.